The Match Ball.
Hello there. Welcome to the show. We're streaming live on YouTube for our TSB Plus members who gloriously get more early access to the Match Ball, and you can watch the show in the free feed later on and listen in your podcast app. The show is brought to you by Levi's Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees on their full range of services, which you'll find at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball. Full details and terms on the website. I'm trying to stay as cheery and chirpy as possible. Dan Moylan here, along with Chris Mack and Rob Conlon, as well as we analyse a cup exit at the hands of a bunch of children from Sheffield. We haven't been faring so well against the youth recently, have we?
I mean, even by Leeds United standards, that was quite incredible. I'm used to us losing early in the League Cup in quite a disheartening manner, but that took the piss quite a lot, didn't it? We're all trying to laugh our way through it, but Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's good to be back, isn't it? After all that fun we had in April and May when things were going so nice.
It's what, 8 days since the Everton game?
People are saying there's audio issues.
Oh, we'll keep an eye on it. I don't know what to do with that if it's not working, so we'll plow on. Yeah, we're recording it anyway, so it'll go out afterwards. So, yes, not a great, glorious evening to be a Leeds United fan at all. So how do you analyse that? I don't really know what to say about that. I'm just kind of... It just transcends everything that you understand about Leeds, doesn't it? Leeds just being Leeds again.
I mean, I blame Jayden Bogle, because if it wasn't for him, we could have all gone home a little bit earlier.
I did have that thought coming back in here. I mean, I suppose the defining image of the night was the fans walking out of Sean Longstaff, stepping up to take his penalty. They knew what was coming. We knew what was coming. And boy, he didn't disappoint. We didn't disappoint.
Rather ambitiously, Rob, I laid it out here on a little grid. I made a grid on my sheet. I put 5 rows in it for 5 penalties. Didn't need them, did we? Just the 3.
You could guess how the others would have gone and who might have taken them. Yeah. I was saying I'm surprised Sean Longstaff didn't run up to take his penalty and then try and pass it sidewards to no one.
Yeah, I mean,
Jesus Christ.
The Calvert-Lewin one. That was quite spectacular, wasn't it? After quite a spectacular cameo. There were a chance for Pat Bamford after that mess. Oh, man.
Oh, man, this club. I knew it couldn't last. Well, we've always got one of these in us, and there it was. It genuinely defies analysis.
Go on, Chris. I'm looking to you.
So many things I want to say that I don't want to say.
You're normally quite good at the football side of things, though, Chris. So, go on.
Shite. What do you want me to say other than that? It was, I mean, I'm starting to think, actually thinking back from the match, that Jack Harrison, despite not being very good, at least got on the ball and tried to make things happen, even if he wasn't that good at it.
Yeah, I kind of wish he didn't. I kind of just wanted him to hide a lot of the time when he kept hitting crosses over and free kicks over. I was like, Jack, just stop doing it. Like, you're not helping yourself here. Bless him.
I'd say one of his biggest faults as a footballer is that he tries too hard, almost to the point where he should just be a bit more like Brendan Aronson. And
what, a natural football? Just a natural player, a natural baller. It's just, we've seen those a lot, haven't we? Those types of performances where we're completely toothless. It's Farkaball, sadly. It's worse when you have something of a second string playing it. They're not familiar with each other's roles and the interactions that happen on the pitch. Because we did look a lot sharper after he made all the major changes, which makes you think we've actually got some capability in that side. But once again, it's the backups that are just not enough, not capable of taking the bull by the horns. Because you are playing a bunch of kids.
I was going to say, when they're playing a Chef Wednesday team who are a bunch of kids, it's their scratch side. We were looking at their team before the game, trying to work out who they were, and half of them didn't have Wikipedia pages, which is never a promising sign. But yeah, like I came into this week after the Arsenal game thinking, cool, play Sheffield Wednesday on Tuesday night, see a lot of the new signings, confidence boosting win, get into Newcastle, everyone will be back at Ellen Road feeling a bit more optimistic. Probably some of those new signings will be cemented their place in the team. We can all look forward. And now it's like, oh no, we've got to go back on Saturday, don't we? And who the hell do you play against Newcastle?
Does that instill the fear in you, Chris?
Not. It's not so much the fear. It's just I don't know. I feel like now I'm just waiting around until something happens in the dugout.
Really?
Yeah, it's just everyone feels like that though. Do they not?
Sort of, but
I'm not. I don't think off the back of that I'm going. He has to get sacked tonight. But
well, there's a number of comments we've got.
It's more just like, is anybody remotely invested in him?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'm a big Farke defender, but I know he will get sacked this season.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if the 49ers had any inkling of who would come next, can't afford many more nights like that, can you? And I say that, like I say, as a big Farke defender. I mean, it is that tonight is Leeds United heritage, but doing it against a team of kids takes the biscuit, I would say.
Yeah, and yet we should have won it quite clearly.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Dominic Calvert-Lewin comes on, could have had a hat-trick in his 10, 15, 20 minutes, whatever it was.
Yeah, I think the worrying thing for me is that it looked like it was individual quality that dug Leeds out and got at the penalties, and not anything to do with the system that Leeds were playing.
But then couldn't you argue the same with what happened with Arsenal at the weekend? They just pass it around accurately, quickly, and then give it to Saka and he smashes it in, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I sort of thought the more worrying thing was that the system looked like it was dying out for some quality.
Yeah.
Is number 10 the number 10 position our new left back position where we're just not going to sign one? And we've been chatting about it for 2 years now or something. We need a number 10. We got into, after 2 years in the Championship, we're now going into a Premier League season, and you look at that team and go, Jesus Christ, they need a playmaker who has an eye for a pass and a bit of invention and who can get their foot on the ball and play forward. Because, I mean, you saw it when it was in the second half. Was it when Stark came on? I can't remember. But we for the first time all night, we played just 2 direct forward passes through the line. I think it was Gruev to Pirro, in fact, and Pirro to Okafor. And he had that chance in front of the keeper. It's like, it can be that easy if you just play forward and have an eye for a pass and actually a bit of boldness to thread the ball through.
It involves a little bit of risk taking, doesn't it? Looking for the ball through the lines rather than just the ultra safe. Well, you know what the ultra safe stuff looks like under Farke.
Yeah, but he is a risk averse manager, and you assume they're told to do play the high percentage risk averse things. I don't know. I don't really know what to say after that, because it was disjointed and a rubbish game of football for the most part, and like I don't really buy into the whole Leedsiness thing, but it feels like no one else would have lost that game other than Leeds tonight. Just to a team of children on work experience and Jamal Lowe.
Yeah. Well, I think, to be fair, on the risk aversion, I do think, we were almost waiting for Wednesday to pull themselves out of shape, either in attacking or pressing us, and they just weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, come on, you've got to have some imagination to do something exciting and try and make something happen. And there wasn't any of that really all night, was there?
It went back to the echoes of last season almost, weren't they, when we were up against these low blocks where the other team has got no intention of doing anything but absorbing wave after wave after pressure. So you've got to be a bit smarter than to keep trying to do the same things over and over again. You need to be taking risks. That's the only way I can sort of pull anything remotely logical or rational from that. You need players who are going to do that.
Yeah, it's easier to not do that though. Was it Bielsa who said it's easier to destroy than create, or is that like Maurizio Sarri, or did I make that up?
Sounds very Bielsa.
Yeah, so it just feels like they did a job and they did it very well, and I suppose it's easier to tell 11 children to just sort of sit behind the ball and do the basics right, and it worked in the end. And like here, the goal is it's Massimo Taibi in 2025, basically, isn't it?
Well, we'd just been chatting about our last embarrassing League Cup defeat to lower league opposition against Salford. We were chatting about that at that moment and saying, remember when Carl Darlow got arm-megged in that penalty shootout against Salford? And then we looked up and Carl Darlow was getting nutmegged by his own hands, I think. So he got a hand to it, didn't he? And then it just rolled and it trickled between his legs.
I mean, given all the stuff, the narrative that's emerged this summer around, we're replacing the keeper. And I'm surprised, and we said, didn't we, I think, before the game, never mind the show, we were surprised that maybe he didn't just leave Perry in just to give him a bit more familiarity, build his confidence, that kind of thing. But he went with Darlow. Obviously, he must be on some sort of promise to give Darlow some minutes, which, fine, you understand it. But then there's been a narrative around replacing the keeper this summer, and then that happens. And then there's replacing Bamford and bombing him out. And then Dominic Calvert-Lewin puts a penalty into fucking Rotherham or something like that and misses those 3 chances. It's actually hilarious. Like, it's a scriptwriter's dream.
I mean, Darlow as well, he jumped out of the way of all 3 penalties, didn't he? Did he guess wrong every time?
Yeah.
The 2 were, he went the wrong way. Like, I can't tell because it happened so quickly, but it feels like he's down before the penalties hit. It feels very obvious where he's going. I don't know. I'm just used to Ilya Melee not saving penalties. Now we've got Carl Darlow not saving penalties.
I mean, it's not complete. It's not a complete disaster, is it? It is just a game that's gone off the rails a little bit, which we've seen far too many times before. But you're right, Rob. I don't think it does anything in terms of calming already slightly stormy waters off the back of the manner of the Arsenal defeat. Not the fact that we lost, but the way in which it was almost predictable and it played out as we expected for the reasons we expected. So then this kind of compounds it that little bit more today, because we all said on the shows in the first half of this week, let's get to Sheffield Wednesday, like you say, a little palate cleanser, and then we can start building up again to the weekend. And as it's completely framed the second half of this week differently.
Well, let's think, who would you pick against Newcastle? Because Bogle came on and looked decent, but other than that, who actually looks like they could be a viable alternative in that game?
That you would start?
Yeah.
None of them, really.
Because, you're going into the Newcastle game going, oh, well, we can't play Pirot after the Arsenal game. Lemaitre was there, I guess, and he wasn't as bad as Pirot, who I forgot was on the pitch for the second half, basically, until he rocked up at the coin toss, and I was like, whoa, wow, he's captain now. Cool. Yeah,
at the risk of being too 2020 hindsight, starting Pirot in that game at the weekend was just daft, and I would probably start Mecha at the weekend, but he didn't do all that much tonight, did he? Really?
No.
He had a couple of moments, and he's good at winning corners and free kicks and being a general nuisance, I suppose.
You just worry who's going to get him the ball, because it's so workmanlike and so little, like I say, imagination.
Sam's just asking where Normanton is tonight. His negative insight would be funny right now. Well, he's at Hillsborough.
And who was stood behind him?
Milana, Brendy's better half. And when did she leave?
What minute was it he got subbed off?
It was the minute he got subbed off, and then she left. That's what Michael said.
I was saying I think she needed to head for the tunnel to go give him a consoling word, I imagine. Let him cry on her shoulder. Because, I mean, fair play to her, because it can't be, unless she hates Brendan Aronson, but it can't be nice to stand in the away end, I imagine, listening to your boyfriend just get slagged off for the whole time. Because, God, he was awful as well.
Maybe she just drove home.
Yeah.
Left and make his own way home.
Yeah, I mean, the Leeds fans leaving halfway through the penalty shootout probably were thinking, I wish I'd have done the same.
He sent me a voice note. I'm going to see if I can find a way to put it into the play out.
Should we listen to it first?
He's actually said to me, that is clean enough to play, by the way. Didn't accuse anyone of being a nonce or anything.
Oh, that's good.
Okay.
Very mature of him.
I'll see if I can somehow feed that into the play out computer. I mean, my God, my WhatsApp, it's just gone wild. I've got 20 unread messages here from various people.
Yeah, I'm trying not to look.
One of which is a local prominent journalist, full of swear words. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's not the Scottish one, is it? Or...
I'm not saying. I won't say if it's Berrin or not.
Chris, what did you make of Okafor as a man who has followed his career very closely, I imagine?
It looked very Okafor-y, which is lots of fart and no shite. Yeah.
Got a few players like that, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't know. There was no winning tonight, though, I think, for Leeds and Farke. Unless Leeds, even if Leeds went out and won 5-6-0, you'd be like, oh, well, it's a team full of children. You can't really take much from it. But they could have at least gone out and won 3-0 and given everyone something to just say, yeah, that was fine. And there were no redeeming features to that match at all, I think.
No.
It only needed to be fine, didn't it?
Yeah.
Fine would have been good. We'd have taken fine. Like I say, just get to Saturday, not shit in the bed. It feels like that has been quite spectacularly soiled.
Why not just shit the bed anyway?
Yeah.
I don't think the centre-backs played too badly. I think Biel got caught out once or twice, but he hasn't played all that much.
I suppose that is the caveat that a lot of these players haven't really played not really played for Leeds at least, or not played recently. Calvert-Lewin certainly looked that way. Okafor, you think, would hopefully have a bit more spark when he gets into the flow of things. But yeah, smarts a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. On Okafor, that was slightly concerning. I don't know if it's just because he's just come into the club and he's new to it all. And yeah, maybe that is the only slight caveat to all this. But he didn't perform like the understudy to Rafa Leao, did he? The sort of guy who's going to come in and change matches. And, with the best will in the world, this was, as we said a number of times, a bunch of children. Actually, do you know what? There's a really interesting comment here from Yorkie Mitch who's saying missing a captain. That is a thread, I think, that we've seen run through Leeds United quite a lot in the last year or two. Sometimes lacking a leader on the pitch. And the fact that it still can rear its head like that is a bit concerning, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it before. Ethan Ampadu is one of Leeds' most important players. Not just he's also a very good midfielder, but he is a leader as well.
Yeah,
I don't think he probably wouldn't have started tonight anyway. But they did seem to be banging on a lot over the summer about signing leaders and players who have captained their clubs before, and all these players are experienced. So
you said it in the first half though, Chris, when we were watching it, that it's just such a lack of personality. It's a really underrated quality. Because actually, that first half, it might as well have been like a pre-season friendly, hadn't it? It was such a weird atmosphere.
Yeah,
it was like the Emirates in the ground, wasn't it? It was just completely dead. And then the game itself, it was like someone just needs to shake the Leeds players. Say, can you just move this ball a little bit quicker, and you might have a bit more joy.
Professional footballer, isn't it your job to do something about that?
Yeah, but I think they're crippled by paralysis through analysis and doing everything high percentage, and not taking long shots and taking chances, because if it goes wrong, then they'll get subbed, or they might not start in the next game, or they'll have to sit through a video session with one of Farke's analysts telling them why they did something wrong. There's no bravery, there's no mavericks.
But then, is Sean Longstaff ever going to be a maverick?
No, because I probably wouldn't sign Sean Longstaff. I don't want to write him off just yet. But there was nothing in when your right winger is Brendan Aronson, who is just completely brainless. Your left winger's Okafor, who I don't know, I'm not so sure about, but at least at times he did try and be direct.
He occasionally tried to beat his fullback, didn't he? Which is what we need. But that's where I don't think Brendan Aronson is weighed down by analysis. I think he's just Brendan Aronson.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But who was going to impact that game in a way that you would go, well, I suppose they should all be better.
Yeah.
But they weren't. And I wrote a load of notes in the first half, and they're just all completely pointless.
Yeah.
Hence why I'm sitting here just a little bit stunned.
You see, I didn't make any because it's a script we've seen play out loads of times before.
I mean, the bit that really, really annoyed me, which was right at the end, last attack of the game, the ball is at Carl Darlow's feet, and he boots it long to Willie Nonto.
Yeah.
And you've got our big new target man striker on there, up against the centre-backs, and he kicks it to the left wing and the smallest player on the pitch. And it's like, lads, come on.
Just on the talking point, Sam brings up a point here about Largi Ramazani, and we are shipping off Largi. Makes you think after tonight. It really does, doesn't it? Because what that needed was some creative spark.
That is the note that I had written down, saying I know that they have the sort of defensive frailties and issues with Ramazani, how he controls games or whatever.
But tonight it wouldn't have mattered, would it?
He is the one player that you feel would have actually made a difference. And can you really say that his downside is worse than whatever Brendan Aronson put out there tonight?
No.
I don't think so.
I've got Normanson's message. I've imported it into the playout system. So should we have a listen to this?
I'm excited.
You can have a voice note because I'm not quite sure how to put it fully into words. Yeah, that was an interesting Leedsy game, wasn't it? Better team, admittedly. Didn't really deserve to lose. Fucking hell. Given the experience in their team, the experience in ours, completely unacceptable. It's far too much sideways. Nothing. Just created nothing for the most part. I think it was only really when Nonto and Bogle came on that anything happened whatsoever. Lots of boos at full time. Lots of Pat Bamford chants at full time. Like it was not going particularly well for Calvert-Lewin. The penalties were awful, weren't they? I mean, at the far end, but it was pretty clear how bad they were. Not a good day for Parker. I feel like this is probably one where he could have had a nice easy win to pretend it's at least ticking along nicely, but new players weren't good, tactics weren't good, whole thing was a mess. Only thing to report from the stands, I was sat next to, well, she was behind me at first, then sideways to Milana, Mrs. Aronson there, and she left the second Brendan was withdrawn. And it was good call in fairness, although she wouldn't have beaten the traffic because there's fucking nobody here. It's a really weird atmosphere because it's a sort of competitive game, but then there's absolutely no one come to watch it. It's like, I think the attendance was 50% Leeds fans. Yeah, very weird sitting in the ground with two completely empty sides. All in all, wouldn't recommend. 0 out of 10.
He still sounds a lot chirpier than I was expecting, to be fair.
I think you sort of process it a little bit better when you're in the ground, though, don't you? You can kind of rationalise it because you've seen it all unfold in front of you. I think when you're at arm's length a little bit like this, you consume it slightly differently.
Yeah, I do find actually coming back from the home match balls almost a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Than just sitting there and watching that, because that's all completely, like that entire game is basically reframed on 3 missed penalties at the end.
Yep.
Which was kind of comical. Like, I think if you're a neutral, you probably enjoyed that tonight because it's funny.
Did you? I mean, would you actually enjoyed it? Or just...
The last bit would have been all right. Yeah, worth watching.
Hey, Normanton sounds like he has had a cry. Says ball bags. Oh dear me. Yeah, somebody was asking further back in the comments about which Aldi I'm going to tonight. They're all shut at 10 o'clock, don't they? So no Aldi tonight.
So not a 24-hour place you can go to?
I mean, a lot of them, the 24-hour shopping's dead now, isn't it? A lot of them shut at like 11 or midnight, and more to the point, I just want to go home. just forget about it. I mean, there's a lot of sacking talk in the comments. I don't know if it's fair or warranted, or it's just an emotional response to a piss poor defeat. But I don't know. Do you feel like things have been cranked up? The pressure has been cranked up that high already?
No, but I do think a lot of people are sitting around just saying, or waiting for Farke to get sacked at some point.
Yeah,
it's, I don't know.
There was never going to be much patience with him, was there? Because there wasn't when we were winning the league last year. So he's never really. It's interesting with Farke because, when he first came in, people really liked him, and we were selling mugs with him on, and he controlled that ball on the touchline. I was like, oh yeah, I love this guy. And then basically from that moment, people have just sort of got more and more bored by him.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all, I think, because everyone, like you said, Dan, how you've seen the script of that game so many times, and everyone knows the script of this season and how it will probably play out with Farke.
I know, again, we're hindsighting this one, but let's workshop it. Would you have put out a stronger side at the start, try to get that game won, and then introduce the new players? Or do you think it was always going to be a case of having the newer players come in to give them minutes and build those up? Because, again, hindsight, but I did wonder if we might have a couple more of the difference makers in the team.
Yeah, in the Championship, I can understand throwing the kids out in the League Cup because you never really got to go that far with it.
That's what Sheffield Wednesday did tonight.
Yeah, and it worked for them.
Exactly.
But when you're in the Premier League, like, you got 8 less games.
We didn't throw the kids out, though, did we?
Well, we threw out the B team. That is the B team.
Well, Biel's meant to be our starting centre-half. He's been signed for that.
Well,
all right, we changed the keeper. Harrison at left-back's a bit weird.
Harrison at left-back. You've got Byram, Bornau, who hasn't really played. You've got...
Okafor's our shiny new winger. He's meant to be really good. Metches, who people wanted to see after the weekend. People want to see him start against Newcastle. Like, we're playing a team of kids. That's more than a good enough Leeds team to beat that. It's not like we're playing Jack Jenkins and Sam Greenwood, our new £1 million exit. But, it's not like those Bielsa games. Like when we lost in our first season after promotion under Bielsa against Hull, that was like Ollie Casey and players like that. Like, we've not done that tonight, have we? That would have been Harry Gray starting. I think we've played a really good team. Like, in comparison to a bunch of children from Sheffield.
But what they have done is they've thrown a bunch of players together who don't play together or haven't played together in those roles. And then you've got people who are not really fit either. And it's just all a bit disjointed. And I think on some sort of subconscious level, it actually shows just a little bit of a lack of respect for the cup. I thought maybe a little bit arrogant in the first half, just expecting it to open up.
Yeah, I think there was that, yeah.
There's
stroking the ball about.
There's always an approach, though, to the Carabao Cup of doing just about enough to stay in it. If getting away with almost as little as you can get away with, because you don't want to risk. Well, for example, last year promotion was so much more important because of the finances involved, and it's staying up this year for the same reason. Just one thing that Ben's mentioning here in the comments has thought I was overreacting when I said sack Farker in the Arsenal match ball. Turns out he was spot on. I didn't advocate for sacking him. What I said in the Arsenal match ball was, I can see the reason why he will be sacked. I think it's ridiculous to suggest sacking him after 2 games. And the same, I don't think you would do that tonight because it's wild, but, it's out of my control either way. Yeah, but I think the Arsenal game exposed why he might get sacked by what felt like a fairly sizable misjudgment in the face of fairly predictable circumstances. That's why I felt you could see why. And and what I was saying was, if he continues to do that, that'll be the reason why he gets sacked, rather than sack him now.
And I suppose most managers are stubborn because they don't get to be a Premier League manager without being stubborn and believing in themselves and being, strong-headed. But I've always thought him to be quite tactically inflexible, tactically rigid.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I'm not really that convinced. I don't think at the front end of the pitch they've given him much to shout about in terms of summer signings so far. You've got players who've arrived in like the last week or two and haven't really played all that much football or aren't really fit, so maybe that'll change over time. But yeah, just I don't know. The thing that's going in the back of my mind is all the shouting in May from Parag Marath about how we've been working on this window for 6 months and we're going into the final week of the transfer window. Like, are we going to sign 2 attackers? Are we going to sign someone who's actually going to make a difference at the front end of the pitch? Because right now there's nobody there.
Sorry, Rob, go on.
It's kind of it's like what kind of attackers do they even want though as well? And going back to the transfer policy, it's like I heard all summer about we want players on the upward curve. Farke keeps mentioning that, and then he's like talking Calvert-Lewin up in that sense. It's like, he was really good 5 years ago, and Okafor's kind of
and Justin got the same talk up. Well, in the form of a tweet, it was highly thought of defender.
Yes.
He's not highly thought of at the minute. He's had a terrible time, and Leicester are quite pleased to see the back of him. It's not to say he's a bad player, but I think, it's a little bit propaganda, isn't it? Idle Matt is asking, why would we wait on sacking Farke? We know he isn't seeing the season out. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it's an argument I can get behind that one. The chances of him seeing the season out are probably fairly slim. The other side to that, though, is like, I gather they were close to sacking him in summer and for whatever reason decided not to, because I guess it looks really, really bad on if we do go down, then you recruit a manager next year and you go, can you get us up, please? And then when you do, we'll sack you. So they've got to give him the opportunity. It's just how much opportunity they do give him.
I think that's the thing. Like, it's 8 days since we beat Everton and everyone's really excited and everyone was really positive and it felt like a really good start. Losing to Arsenal was kind of what everyone expected. The way we did it, was not great. But, I was putting the match apart from that. They put 5 past Man City last year and a couple of other teams. So whatever. Tonight, though, that is... You just can't defend it, can you?
You can't, but equally, if we win on Saturday against Newcastle, this will all be forgotten.
Yeah.
Because 2 wins out of 3 in the first 3 games of the Premier League, and suddenly you go, that looks pretty good. And we all know if you get 8 points after 5, not doing it this year. No, but you know what I mean? Like 2 wins out of 3 from that opening 3 would be a hell of a return.
Well, I think most people would have taken 4 points from that opening 3. So, I think we still need to be patient, undoubtedly. But as we keep saying, we all know Farke, weirdly, considering his 190 points over 2 seasons, it doesn't feel like he's got a lot of credit in the bank to rest on either.
And Sam's making a good point. 3 games in and talking about sacking Farke, Jesus, football's a fickle game, completely. I think what it is the stakes are so high and the financial stakes are so high. And you know what it means if you go down and obviously the social media contributes to it as well. And it just winds everybody all up into a complete and utter frenzy 24/7. And you know what? It's fine just to step back from it a bit and just go, let's see what happens at the weekend. I mean, like Chris is saying in the comments, do you think we'll beat Newcastle? And somebody else has had a laugh at me for even suggesting it, but it's, football's like that. It does throw up these results. Just see how it plays out. You might be right. We might lose to Newcastle. We might draw. We might win. Whatever, Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
We can't control it.
It does look like we've signed a bunch of large freaks and are trying to play the same football as we did last year. Like, does there seem to have been any real change in tactical approach?
I did say that on one of the shows this week. Like, it feels like maybe there is a there's a disconnect slightly between what the recruitment and the data team want and what Farke wants to do. And he might have agreed to make some concessions on, how he will approach things. And he's sanctioned these signings. But if you still send them out to do the same things before and you don't exploit their height, for example, or try and maximise the opportunities from set pieces and stuff, do you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I keep saying, we signed a lot of big lads and no one to take a set piece. Still Jack Harrison. When Jack Harrison is on the pitch, he's still the guy taking it all, isn't it? Or Stacker
who's
the tall lad.
6'4".
It's just, and it's really weird when last season it was all getting Joe Rothwell in because we want somebody who can take a set piece and we'll take advantage of that.
We shall see. I think we'll wrap it up there for tonight. I don't think we need to do any extra time because it's late, and I think we'd all like to go home.
There's nothing else to say.
This one, but we will do extra time after the Newcastle game at the weekend, which, if you're wondering what the hell that is, it's just a bit of bonus chat at the end of the show for TSB Plus members in their audio version. If you want to become a member, the squareball.net/plus. Any final thoughts?
I don't think you should sack the manager. Like, we're not saying sack him tonight because we lost to this bunch of children in the League Cup. And I think we're all saying the same thing, is that you can see the writing on the wall.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people seem to think it's going that way. And
we just don't know how close the wall is.
Ao Tanaka has suffered an MCL injury and will be out for a few weeks.
Oh,
according
great.
to Daniel Farke.
Right. Super.
And on a positive.
I'm interested to go because a few people have said it was an absolute shit show of an interview afterwards, and he's refusing to take responsibility for the defeat and stuff. I do partly have a bit of sympathy for him because you can't make us put those 3 chances in the net. Yeah, can you at the end? You can't force the ball over the line, and we arguably did enough to win that towards the end. It's the bit before that that's the concern, I suppose.
But also, what do you expect him to say?
Yeah.
He's not going to go in there and go, yeah, they were all absolutely rubbish, weren't they? Like, everyone knows it's an almost pointless dance to put a few words in a match report. Yeah. Speaking of,
good luck tomorrow, Chris.
Are you doing it, Chris?
Oh yeah.
I'll tell you what, we will do a tiny little bit of extra time. Maybe not the full 10 minutes because it feels a bit sad and we want to go home tonight. But they're paying for it, so let's do it. Yeah.
Aren't we brave?
In for a penny, in for a pound. Hero, is hero too strong a word? Probably. Right, we'll catch up with you in a...
The Match Ball.